Okay, now we're with Lindsay Bertino, and she is going to tell us about all of the future stuff right after she tells us a little bit about herself.
I'm Lindsay Bertino. I am the Police Vehicles Marketing Manager at Ford Pro. I've been with Ford Motor Company for a little over 20 years. I've been the Police Vehicles Manager just under 3 years now. Excited to have you guys here. I come from a police family originally. My grandfather was a police officer. My father was a sheriff's deputy before he started working at Ford. Cousins, friends, a lot of families still, police, military. So this has been a wonderful job. Very happy to be here. Very excited to share my vehicles with you. So if you guys are ready, we're going to start over here. Today we're starting with our pursuit rated vehicles. So this is our 2025 Police Interceptor Utility. This particular vehicle has our 3.0 liter EcoBoost. It's a twin turbo V6, tops out at 148 miles an hour. So the 2025 was an update. One of the things that was unique when we did the 2025, if you walk to the front end of the vehicle, you'll see for 2025, the Retail Explorer introduced a new grille and a new fascia. Police vehicles are all upfit. So that means that agencies have to spend money on the new front end. And anytime we put a new front end on a vehicle, the content that goes on the vehicle has to be redesigned, and it also has to be repurchased.
Really?
So we opted to keep the old front end on the vehicle, knowing that government agencies, when they purchase the vehicle, they wouldn't have to replace the content. So they can decommission a vehicle from 2020 through 2024 model year, move the content over, and they can save with government funding.
Cool.
So it's something that's a little bit unique for us, and for a retail customer, you know, they want that front end, they want that front fascia. For a police customer and for a government agency, they're looking for how can they spend the money on the things that matter the most and not have to continuously every 4 or 5 years replace the upfit content.
Well, that's what we were talking about just a minute ago, is that budgets are the biggest issue for every police department. So this is a very good idea.
Yep, it was something very unique. So, and then one of the other things that we did for 2025, and I'll show you in the vehicle, we did a lot of complexity reductions. We've had a lot of agencies that they wanted to purchase vehicles and they wanted to purchase certain content, but it was optional and they couldn't do that. And there were certain features that we're going to show you. The police perimeter alert is one of those options. It was an optional feature before 2025. Starting in 2025, we made that as standard. So now agencies don't have to pick if they need that additional officer safety. We're giving it to the agencies. We just ask them, turn it on. When your officers are in the vehicle, please turn it on. But for 2025, we did that with a lot of different content. So we have our dark card, which is like a stealth mode. We have our police perimeter alert. And then we also have an engine idle. Engine idle, the vehicle can continue running. You can continue running your laptop, all of your equipment, but you take your key out of the vehicle and the vehicle keeps running. So a unique item about the Police Interceptor Utility and the F-150 Police Responder, we still have a hard key. We have a hard key and we have a column shifter, which you don't see that a lot in vehicles, and you never see it in retail vehicles for the most part. So if you guys want to hop in, we can go ahead and take a look at the few items in here. So one of the first things you'll notice if you take a look at the front doors, both the passenger and the driver door, all of our vehicles for our marketing vehicles are equipped with ballistic panels. We offer directly from the plant NIJ 3+ or 4+ ballistic panels. So you can get whatever you want in a vehicle, or if you choose to do something different, you can do something different. But our panels are assembled at the plant. So the door is removed, panels inserted, and the door is put back together. So the vehicle comes to you fully functional. It's part of the warranty. It's already ready to go.
So like, as it sits now, like even with the lighting and all that stuff, this is all from the plant?
Not all the lights are from the plant. So the top light is slightly different. The center console that you see in it, that's an aftermarket center console. The CENTCOM, the brain, the center of the system, that's part of our Ready for the Road package.
Okay.
So there are certain items that we offer directly from Ford. So the idea behind our pursuit rated vehicles, they're purpose built with the idea of safety, performance, durability, and upfit friendly. So a unique thing that you'll see on our Police Interceptor Utility, we also have it on our F-150 Responder and on our F-150 Lightning Pro SSV. We have a specific police seat. So when you sit in it, if you feel the material, it's a little bit heavier duty of a material. Officers, when they sit down, they have their duty belt, which has different weapons and items and radios that rub on the seat. So we have a heavy duty material on the seat. We also have reduced bolsters. So when an officer sits down, so when an officer sits down, their duty belt doesn't pop up. And also if they have a vest, they have a little bit more padding right here that they get back support, so they're not sitting completely forward. The big item that you'll see, you won't see it in our seats, we have anti-intrusion plates, which is a steel anti-stab plate. It's in the back of all of our pursuit-rated police seats. So like I said, our PIU, our F-150 responder, and then the F-150 Lightning SSV, that shares the same seat that we have in the police responder. So it also has that additional protection. So it's very unlikely it's going to happen, but we still have that extra protection that if somebody does get a weapon in the back seat, it offers the officer some protection on their body.
And that's sequenced at the plant.
That is, that's how the seats are built. Yep, it's a custom seat. You can only get in the police vehicles.
Gotcha.
Yep. So it's separate. It's not Kevlar, so you don't have to worry about 4 years and any sort of decline or anything. This has the lifetime of the seat. The panel will be good for.
And like we saw with the lighting, the actual headlights of the vehicle, there's supplementary emergency lights within those. So are those coming, from the plant as well? I'm just kind of curious what you get.
So the supplementary lights we have here, those are part of one of the packages that do come from the plant. So the Ready for the Road package that we were talking about, it has if you look at the headlight, the small lamp that's in it, that's part of our Ready for the Road package. So it comes directly from the plant. There's some additional tail lights, the brain, and a wire harness.
Okay.
So we try to make the vehicle as upfit friendly. So when it goes to the upfitter, they already have the wires run. So they just have to cut the ends and add whatever pigtails they need based on what supplier or vendor they're going to use for a lighting system. So, and then we also, starting on the 2025 Police Interceptor Utility and the 2024 F-150 Police Responder, we added the Ford Pro Vehicle Integration System 2.0, which allows for easier upfitting. So it allows upfitters to access the canvas and the different signals so they can adjust and do whatever they need. So it was originally introduced in the 2023 Super Duty as optional. Knowing that most police vehicles are fully upfit, we moved it as a standard item to our vehicles. So Police Interceptor for 2025, we updated the screen that you see here. This is our standard screen. We went with an 8-inch screen. You'll see we also kept a variety of hard buttons. And that's based on what officers want and what's easier to use. We know that there's a lot of officers that wear gloves on a regular basis. So if you have too many soft buttons, that starts to create issues. So in pursuit rated vehicles, we're trying to make sure the main items that they focus on in terms of either radio or HVAC, you can control through a hard button. We've also added a rear camera on demand. So if an officer's sitting, he can hit the button and see what's going on in the vehicle behind him without having any issues.
Interesting. Now, are these, you mentioned with the hard buttons, I'm less familiar with the new mid-cycle action, the Explorer. Are these buttons unique now? Are they like an older common part that we've kept in the inventory for this?
So these buttons they're slightly different than what we had in there previously. And just because, right now we have the rear aux AC is standard. In the past we had rear aux AC as an option, just because different vehicles. So all the vehicles had the same headliner, but not everybody had the auxiliary AC controls up front for the rear. So the buttons are a little bit different for 2025 just because you have that update to your HVAC system. And then if we come in here and look, let's see if I can fit in here. The new item that we have, and I'm going to move this up. The other item that we have is the new control system. So we moved to the 12.3-inch control. This is the same instrument panel that we have on the retail vehicle. You're just going to see slightly different images just because we have the software behind the scenes is slightly different. So there's certain things integrated into the retail system that we don't integrate into our system. Center stack is completely police alone. This isn't something that we offer on a retail vehicle. This is our standard. We do have a 12-inch screen that I can show you in the hybrid. That's optional. It's part of our integrated computer system. And what it means is in this vehicle, so this is part of where a control arm would mount for a laptop. The other system has, the integrated computer system allows the laptop to be co-located. So we actually have the laptop in the liftgate area. So if an agency is riding 2 officers at a time, your laptop can be in your rear area and you have your 12-inch screen. So you have your traditional vehicle screen and then your laptop mirroring screen on the bottom. So that way it doesn't take up any space in the vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So other updates that we have in here. So we've got our tray top, universal tray top. So if you're mounting radars, radios, anything you want, it's measured out in here, so it's easier to mount to. We've got the bolts that you remove, they can mount down into there, makes upfitting easier. We also have the red-white council task lighting, so if they're in a situation where they want to just do the red whites. So the only thing that's going to stay lit is going to be the Prindle. This is staying on right now just because we're coming out of accessory mode right now, so the vehicle still isn't fully charged. But how Dark Car works is, so an officer can actually take the vehicle and now drive it. You wouldn't necessarily drive it long distances, but if you're on a block watching a house or watching a building, everything in the vehicle is dark out.
Yeah.
So you can't see anything. There's no reflection coming from the vehicle. They would have their laptop closed. Nothing coming from the screen.
I mean, that makes a lot of times you'll run lights and sirens close, and then you start shutting things off as you get close to
Correct.
it.
Correct. So this isn't a situation where they don't want anybody to see them. So if you think about it like you're a dark street, you're in a stakeout, you're stealth mode. You don't want anybody to see you. You can move the vehicle, everything's dark, and then when you want to bring it back up, you can either turn the lights on or you can just hit the brightness and everything's going to pop up to full brightness for you again. So if it was a little bit darker in here, you'd see it a little bit more. But so that gives you the basic idea of that. Okay, so can you see? You're going to hit perimeter alert. And it shows the perimeter.
So this is piggybacking off of, I'm assuming, your LiDAR sensors, things of that nature?
Yep.
Oh.
So you see the camera turns on, gives you a beep, windows are going to go up. And I have a window lock on the back seat, so your window didn't go up. But so this gives you, so what it's doing is it's taking the ADAS system that you already have with the different sensors, police perimeter alert, it gives you 270 degrees of an alert system around the vehicle. Yep. So as you're walking around the vehicle, so what happens with your perimeter alert, you have the 3 different circles. When you get into the circle that's the closest to the vehicle recognizes someone's coming towards the vehicle and the vehicle goes in quote unquote lockdown mode. So that's when you get the chime, the windows go up and it alerts you in the system. So if an officer's in idle, doing paperwork, doing whatever, he can turn this on and that way he can focus on other stuff. And if somebody comes near the vehicle, perimeter alert will turn on and alert them that somebody's coming close to the vehicle. Okay, so with police engine idle, how it works is the vehicle is completely running. You engage police engine idle and you can pull your vehicle out and the vehicle continues to run, your HVAC system continues to run, and all of the radios, laptops, any equipment that you have, aftermarket equipment plugged in, will continue to run. The big thing with engine idle is somebody can't hop in your car and take off until you have the key re-engaged in the ignition. So we've got the key in the ignition. We're gonna hit our engine idle button. You see the shield with the green key in it?
Okay.
It's like the olden days. We used to be able to do that when I was like really young.
Yep.
They'd pull the key out and the car would still be like you just pulled it straight out.
Yep.
Wow.
So the vehicle will continue to run. We don't have a shut-off time on it. So when an officer's on a scene, if he has somebody in the back seat of the vehicle, or if they have all of their equipment, they don't necessarily want to shut the vehicle off, but there is a concern with somebody trying to steal their vehicle. This now eliminates that concern because I can take my keys, I can walk away. I don't have to worry about the vehicle being somebody taking off in it. I don't have to worry about restarting it and getting my equipment going again. I don't have to worry about charging. If I have equipment running and it's pulling from my main battery, it's having issues when I restart. And again, if you have somebody in the back seat and say it's Florida or California and it's hot, you can keep your HVAC system going and make sure you keep them air conditioned or with appropriate amount of climate control.
So what happens if somebody tries to put it into gear? Locked. Perfect. Yeah.
And can this be used with the perimeter alarm, where if we wanted it windows down and you left the doors unlocked, because it's just sitting the roadside and someone came up to it?
So perimeter alert, once you get out of the vehicle, shuts off.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So otherwise, if it was still engaged, if you tried to get back in the vehicle would go into lockdown and you wouldn't be able to get in. I mean, you'd have the key to unlock it. Yeah. But yeah, so perimeter alert, if I have perimeter alert on, once I open the door, it shuts itself off. If I want to turn it back on, I just hit the button again to do it.
Kevin.
I guess you've been good enough. We'll let you.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you so much. I'll make you the employee of the next hour.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
So the one item that you can't see, you just have to take my word on it. So the Police Interceptor Utility is the only vehicle on the market that has a 75 mile an hour rear impact crash rating. So federal standards is a 55 mile an hour. So the vehicle has a reinforced frame with a boron steel, and then we actually have 2 crossbars in the back of the vehicle. So they're placed where the second row is and where a third row traditionally would be. Yeah. So with the vehicle, if it's an accident situation, we know officers park on the side of the road. Sure. Vehicles get hit a lot. So the vehicle was designed in a manner that an officer and anybody that's in the back seat is going to be safe, or we're trying to keep them as safe as possible because we know they're parked on the side of the road, they're doing somebody hits that vehicle. We want to make sure that anybody that's in this vehicle is going to be as safe as possible.
Wow, 75 miles an hour with a standard vehicle. That's a lot of mass.
Yep. Yep.
And do you know for the reinforcements with the vehicle, is that done in the body shop?
No, that's done at the plant. So I actually,
sorry, when the body's being built, or is it
it's
bolted
done.
in
So
afterwards?
after the body's done, when it comes down the line, there's
Okay.
2 separate parts on the line that they do the assembly, and they add the cross brackets. So one of them is pretty early on. I want to say it's right after they add the wire harnesses. The first set of cross brackets come, and the second set comes a little bit later. So you've got first one that's down slightly, kind of where the vehicle curves a little bit, and the other one's in the flat back.
Now, like with the inserts, right? You can feel, I know you guys can't, but like, I mean, you can
Yep.
feel the mass.
You
in
can
these
feel the weight of
doors,
the door.
right?
Yeah.
Are
Well, if you look on the inside of the door too, I'm sorry to interrupt
no,
you.
please.
If you look on the inside of the door, we actually have 2 items there. So if you look at the bracket, we have a reinforced the hinge. So it has a reinforced hinge, knowing that there's going to be additional weight on the vehicles. We also know that the vehicles, a lot of agencies teach their officers to kick the door out when they're jumping out of the vehicle to run.
Yeah.
And then we have a reinforcement strap. So the doors, whether you have a ballistic panel or not, have been reinforced, knowing that they're going to take more wear and tear than a traditional vehicle. A lot of officers, if you're in a situation, you're running, slam the vehicle and park, open the door, kick the door, and then take off running. So we know that this vehicle is going to take a lot more wear and tear. So we've designed those hinges with that additional strap so the vehicle could stand up for 5, 7, 10 years.
Gotcha. But are there any actual body structure changes in the hinge pillar?
No, it's designed. So it was
From the get-go.
engineered. Yeah,
Yep,
it was engineered
so-
from the get-go to be reinforced. So whether you add that ballistic panel or it's your traditional door, you have that additional safety.
No, I think it's important. Like, these are all conversations of, there's only so much space at a plant. Yep. So when you make a deliberate decision that you're going to bring ballistic inserts, so like a door line's coming in, that could have been like a platinum triple plus version, but instead it's a police door that comes in.
Well, and it's a
so-
police door, but the thing that's different, so when I say it's from the plant, so the police interceptors are assembled at Chicago Assembly.
Yeah.
About a mile down from the road, we have a facility called TDM, Troy Design and Manufacturing. They're a fully owned Ford subsidiary. Yeah. They do all of our upfitting for police vehicles that we offer through the order guide. So our police interceptor utility has gone to that facility for years. Our F-150 police responder started going to that facility for 2024 model. Mm-hmm. So we actually build the vehicle in Kansas City, ship them to that facility in Chicago so they can do things like the lights that we put in the A-pillar. If you want to do your spot lamps or if you want a spot lamp prep kit so you can add your own lights at home, we do that at the plant. We do the door panels, we do the additional wire harnesses, we do the Wayland, the core system in there, the brain of the vehicle for your lights and everything. That's all done at TDM. So the vehicle is built, so certain things, the brackets, the adjustment straps, those all come through the Chicago Assembly, through the main plant. Then the additional upfit options, those go to Troy Design and Manufacturing. They usually finish the vehicles, I believe they have a 36 to 48 hour turnaround time. Mm-hmm. So your vehicle is built, it's moved down to this facility, it gets put in basically a line, but it's a manual line. Yeah. They go through and they do all the different upfits, and then the vehicle gets loaded. So there's almost zero time wasted from the point that the vehicle is actually fully built to the point that it's shipped to you.
No, my only point is just there's some very deliberate decisions.
Yes.
And it affects the plant.
Yep.
And when you get plant level decisions involved,
Yep.
just there's a lot of repercussions from that, and I don't know.
Yep. It was when we did different items to integrate the system and when we were doing the complexity reduction, that was one of the things that we had to look at because as we were doing the complexity reduction, Chicago Assembly, for all intents, they build 3 vehicles. They build the Aviator, they build the Retail Explorer, and they build the Police Interceptor Utility. So they have to have wheels, parts, doors, seats, everything. And we do have a lot of trim levels that are very specific for police. So the updates that we did were very intent. So we made sure that we were thinking what matters most to our customers. So if you look at our vehicle, so our wheels and tires are completely different. So what we have on the vehicle, we don't offer on any of the retail vehicles. So we actually use a Goodyear Pursuit rated all seasons tire on the Police Interceptor Utility. So these are specially made for this vehicle and for police vehicles in general. We don't use this on any of our retail vehicles, so it's going to look a little bit different. And we're going to, again, we have that wheel in a plant that we don't have on a retail vehicle, and we don't share it. And they're not going to want that wheel. They're not going to want to pay the additional money for the wheel or for the tire. So, and then next to you, we've already seen the inside of this vehicle. So this is going to be pretty much the same. We can take a look at the different screen if you want. But this is the 2025 Police Interceptor Utility 3.3 liter hybrid. So this is the first and only pursuit rated hybrid in the police segment. It was purpose-built for police use. For the 3.3 hybrid versus the 3.3 liter gas, you're looking at about a 40% savings in fuel. Wow. So for agencies that they spend a lot of time in idle. This vehicle, while it's going in idle, it'll run out of the battery. It's a regenerative braking system, so as you're driving and braking, it's recharging itself. When they're in an idle situation, the vehicle will continue to run from that hybrid battery, but also the equipment in the vehicle. And that's where you see such a huge savings, because most police vehicles, you're not gonna see just a radio. You're gonna see a radio, you're gonna see a radar, you're gonna see a laptop. There's gonna be multiple machines in there. Those can all run on that hybrid battery. And then as the vehicles stop and go with a constant recharging system, it makes a huge difference in what they're gonna have for fuel expenditures. It's very similar to what you saw before. But you'll see we have the keyboard mounted here. We'd remove the keyboard in the other vehicle just to show it to you. But we have an optional 12.3-inch integrated computer system. So the laptop for this vehicle is actually located in the liftgate area. We have a special lockbox back there. I can definitely show that to you. And when we're doing it, I can actually show you our police timeout release. So both of our vehicles, the liftgate release, you can't just go to it and unlock it. We have a button that you have to hit. It's a police independent accessory timeout release. So you have to hit the button. You have 45 seconds to get around to the back of the vehicle and unlock it. Otherwise it goes into lockdown mode again. We know officers carry a lot of items in the back that they don't want to get into the hands of the general public. If you think of a crowd control scenario or people around a vehicle, the risk that that liftgate could get opened and potential weapon boxes or anything like that could get into the public it's very real. So we've added this timed lockout release, so that way if you need to get in that back area, you have to hit that button and then you have that 45 seconds to get back there. So, and then the next one, this is one of my favorite vehicles. All of them are my favorites, I should say, warn you. So this is our F-150 police responder. Ford was the first manufacturer to launch a full pursuit rated police truck. So the F-150 police responder, we have a 3.5 liter V6 EcoBoost engine in this. It is the same engine that we have on a retail vehicle, but it's got a completely different calibration. So the way this drives is different than how you're going to drive on a retail vehicle. It's going to have different power than a retail vehicle. It has a different transmission, different cooling system, and also an upgraded braking system. We top this out at 121 miles an hour. It's a lot of fun to drive on the track. We have an 18-inch wheel on this, and this is a, Goodyear actually worked with us on this. This is a pursuit-rated all-terrain tire.
Interesting.
So it's going to grip the ground a little bit differently than a traditional tire, but this is, again, it's a truck. It's designed to be a truck. We wanted to make sure that when we put this out in the market, you can do everything you can with a truck, but you can also do everything you would do with a police vehicle. So
it's faster than a Raptor? I think they're like 107.
Is the Raptor 107?
I think so. I don't
then
know
we
off
would
the top
probably
of my
top out.
head. Yeah,
I would have to
think
take
so.
a look. So this is a lot of fun to drive. If you want to hop in, we can go ahead and show you a few things. So the content that we were talking about, dark car, police engine idle, police perimeter alert, we've also standardized those on the 24, starting on the 24 model year F-150 police responder. So that was a first for us, bringing that type of technology and software into the system. So we're really happy to have it. And then as I was saying, we also started offering different lighting packages and internal packages that are done in Chicago. So the headlamps that you see, or the spot lamps that you see in the A-pillar, you can get those directly from the plant by us. Or if you want a spot lamp prep pack, so if you already have the spot lamps and you just need the holes, we'll drill the holes to you and we send the vehicle with a plug. You can use your own equipment if you already have it. And then we also have a universal tray top and a tray top delete, depending on how you want to upgrade the system. And then unfortunately, we don't want you to see this. We have blank out panels in the back seat. So we can get you in, but you won't be able to get out unless you're extra nice.
Oh, well, it's Kevin's turn to get in back, and we'll see if I'm going to be. Actually, one of the things I noticed here that I'd like to know a little bit more about is this tonneau. One of the things that I've always wondered about is, okay, I've got a pickup truck. How do I keep people from getting in it? This one, from afar, I could see it's a little bit different. Yep. What do we got going on here?
So we offer this on the F-150 through the order guide. We don't have this available on the police responder, but you can buy it aftermarket. This is it's a foldable tonneau market, and it's, let me open the back of it. Just see. We actually had storage boxes in here, and we took our storage boxes. Do you have the one over there?
Pull down?
Yep, just pull down.
Yeah.
Should pull down.
Okay, I pulled it. Oh, I see. There we go. I'm going the wrong direction.
There you go.
Rock it out.
So this is a little bit different than, and we have a couple of the tonneau covers, but this does a lockdown. You can't open this unless you have the bed open. We also do, we have aftermarket boxes that are available for this. So it's storage boxes. They're metal containers that go in the back. You can store weapons, bullets, equipment, everything that you need to do in different lock boxes. So there's a couple of vendors that have the CAD information for this, and they've designed the different beds, and they put everything back here. So if an officer wants to use this for storage, they can. If they want to put a full cap on the back, they can put the full cap on the back. So we've tried to, again, think about upfitability. So the vehicles are designed in a manner that it allows you to pick the content that you need to do your job.
Can you get the Pro Power Assist with this?
We don't have Pro Power on board with this yet.
Okay. Now, I've started to see more of these. Is their primary use case more rural areas?
The initial primary use case was the more of the rural areas, but we're starting to see them show up in different areas. It just depends. Again, it's police and vehicles are not one size fits all, just like the upfits aren't one size fits all.
Yeah.
So we see these in different cities. I mean, it's an F-150, it's a truck. So the turn radius on a truck versus what you have on a PIU is going to be very different. So now one of the other items you have, if you want to hop up in there, we can show you. So the F-150 police responder has what we call 4A, which is a torque on demand. So when you're driving the vehicle, as opposed to being in a two-wheel drive or a four-wheel high or a four-wheel low, you can actually drive the vehicle in 4A. I can't really show you anything now. Alan can show you this on the track. But right here where your drive mode normally is, you have your 2H, your 4H, you have 4A. If you put it in 4A, it's a torque on demand. We call it a set it and forget it. So it's got a transfer box. So the vehicle, when you're driving, if you have it in 4A, when officers are in high stress situations, the vehicle adjusts and sends torque to the different vehicle or to the different wheels based on how you're driving in conditions. So say you're in a rural area and you're going from road to gravel to grass, the vehicle is going to adjust. So when an officer is driving, they don't have to worry about that. They don't have to worry about switching from two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive to high, low, however that's going to go. So 4A gives you that set it and forget it. So in high stress situations, it takes some of that anxiety and stress out so they can focus on driving and being safe and doing what they need to do.
So the A is automatic.
It's automatic. Yep. So on to the next part. I think you're familiar with these vehicles.
Yeah.
Kind
I
of.
saw a video. You might know a thing or two about the vehicles.
Yes, but you know what? It's always better hearing it from
It's
you.
always. So right here, when we get to this side, so those vehicles were our pursuit rated vehicles. These are our support vehicles. So when we call a vehicle an SSV, it's a special service vehicle. It's designed for law enforcement, but it can be used for any government agency possible. So you'll see these not only with police, you'll see fire departments and a wide variety of different government agencies. It doesn't mean that this can't be used as an everyday patrol vehicle. It just isn't designed to be fully pursuit rated. So as a company, we design, we test vehicles, we pursuit rate them. We then send our vehicles to third-party testing. They test, and they pass the precision pursuit testing, and they get that additional stamp of passing the different items. We've never sent the F-150 Lightning SSV. We've sent the Mach-E GT every year as a pilot program, and every year we've passed our testing through MSP, Michigan State Police, Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, California Highway Patrol.
Gotcha.
This is a Mustang Mach-E GT stock unit that's been upfit for police purposes.
Well, one of the things I first noticed as soon as I came around the corner, that does not have those wheels and tires.
No. So the Lightning is going to be a little bit different. So for the most part, our special service vehicles, we generally don't do the same wheel that we do on the Lightning. You'll see on the Expedition, that's my asterisk, that's my exception to the rule, and I'll explain why we did something different there.
Yeah.
But most of the SSVs are going to take a traditional retail wheel. Again, we start talking about parts of the plant, complexity, items like that. Same thing goes into the design of that. So when you look at, so this is the F-150, the Lightning Pro SSV. It actually has the same seats that we have in the police responder. You've got the vinyl interior for easy washout. You have the red task light and the overhead console like you have in the other police vehicles. And then you actually have the universal tray top for mounting equipment on the top. So that's what's in the SSV package. And then beyond that, it is the base, it's the Lightning Pro series. So we have this one in the extended range. You can get it both standard range and an extended range. We use an extended range. We take this to all of our ride and drives, show this to customers, give it to customers. Like I said, we haven't put it on the track for the third-party testing yet, but that's not what the vehicle is designed for, and we don't have the intention of doing that. On the SSV, I love the Mega Power frunk. Just the storage facility, the storage area up there has been wonderful.
Well, this is one of the things that with my videos and whatnot, and quite frankly, we have one of these that we use for pretty much everything, and this is without a question of a doubt my favorite. Oh, you don't have, oh no, you actually use yours for real. The rest of us, that's a place for putting beer. But at the end of the day, this is without a question of a doubt the best frunk of all. I've used this for sand and concrete and anything else you can imagine. Nobody else has got anything quite like this.
If I could swing back to the wheels, I just was wondering, because I know like steel wheels are, they're robust but flimsy, you know.
Yep.
So are these aluminum just because
this
they're...
this is aluminum wheel, and it's just because this is the electric vehicle, and they were
heavier.
limited on the options on that they came with.
Okay.
For our F-150 police responder, so for 2024, we introduced that police steel wheel, that 18-inch steel wheel. Previously, we had an aluminum wheel, so we still have the 18-inch steel wheel as our standard wheel, and we have an 18-inch aluminum wheel as optional, but still with that 18-inch all-terrain pursuit-rated tire from Goodyear.
So that wheel would be forged, right?
Yes.
Not, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
So-
aluminum wheel would be
Yes,
forged.
the aluminum. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I
So-
just wondered if it was like a stability thing, just given the weights of the vehicles, they want to...
So you've got a
Stick with
different,
Yep, so we have a different tonal cover on this one, and this is actually the cover that we have on our other, I've got two other F-150 responders, and this one has one of the lock boxes.
now here we go.
So this one, it's easy to open. You're gonna just pull this cord,
Oh,
flip, pull it again, flip one more time.
oh, gotta love that.
So each of the storage boxes is different. So it depends on what a company wants to, or what an agency wants to do and what they need. For this particular vehicle, we just have the one giant box. You can see any variety of them. The big item is it's a locking box. There you go.
Oh, that rolls nice. Oh, that's
So-
really
And again,
rugged.
each of the boxes is designed differently based on what a customer wants to do. So if an agency wants one giant box, they can do one giant box that has a movable divider. We've got the company that designed this box. They also have different configurations. You can do 5 or 6 different small boxes that go full length. So if you have rifles, you can fit your full rifle in there. The drawer is padded, slides in and out. The big thing is it locks. And then the Mach-E, great vehicle. This is our stock vehicle. So this is the stock GT. Again, when I was talking about police vehicles, I said police vehicles at the heart of the vehicle. It's a performance vehicle.
Sure.
That's why something like a Mustang Mach-E GT or a Mustang GT can be used for a certain amount of police work. And we're starting to see a lot of agencies purchase the Mustang GTs and upfitting them and using them for regular police work, just because there's currently no sedans available in the market. And we have a lot of agencies that prefer to have sedans, or they want a Mustang on different highway positions. So we again, that GT, it gives them the performance that they need. They're not engineered. We haven't offered a police-specific package since we had the Fox body.
Sure.
We had a Mustang SSP. But right now we do recommend the GT if they're going to use it for a regular patrol use.
Gotcha.
So, and there are vendors, suppliers, upfitters that have all of the different lights, sirens, the same packages that we do on our pursuit-rated vehicles. They can do those on the Mustang.
I mean, they drive well and they brake well. I don't think there's many police
Yep.
cars that have fixed
Nope.
front calipers, so.
No, and that's what. And with this, we've got the 15.2-inch rotors and the Brembo brakes.
Cool.
So it's a great vehicle. It drives really well. The agencies that have started to step into electric vehicles for pursuit and for regular use, we've heard all good feedback. And that's one of the things that we did with this pilot program is we worked with a few agencies that we loaned vehicles to them, and they let us have their telematics data. So we didn't take anything about GPS positioning, but we actually took on vehicle functionality, how it was working, performance, battery performance, and we can use that to integrate it into further EV offerings as we go.
Yeah.
So, and we can use it for battery information on the hybrids too.
Gotcha.
So, and this is the brand new 2025 Expedition SSV. The whole exterior in the vehicle is all new. So you'll see a new front end, new side, new lift gate. It really is a phenomenal vehicle. You guys are the first to see it. We literally just picked it up this week, so we're very excited to show it. One of the items I was talking about, we generally don't put the same wheels on an SSV than we do on our pursuit-rated vehicles. We did add the police vehicle onto this, and the reason, so the vehicle comes standard with an aluminum wheel, and then you can option to the 18-inch steel police wheel. We have a lot of agencies that pick this vehicle up to use it that don't need a pursuit-rated vehicle for daily patrol. You also see a lot of canine.
Yep.
So the vehicle is really good in terms of canine upfits. Again, different agencies are different. Some agencies that have a canine, they have a no pursuit rule with canine cage in the back. So they don't need a pursuit rated vehicle to run a canine officer. And again, all agencies are different. Doesn't mean that's how everybody is. So have you had a chance have you been in the vehicle yet? So
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So great part about this vehicle, as we were saying, we have the police wheel. The overall vehicle, even on the retail vehicle, has a new 24-inch heads-up display, so a panoramic heads-up display. It's kind of for our first stepping into this on the Ford side. It really is a phenomenal screen. We'll get in here and get this turned on. Thank you. So we've got the 24-inch panoramic heads-up display. The other item you're going to see is the squircle. The steering wheels, it's the square squircle.
Oh, okay.
So a little bit different in driving. We've got our push-button start. We're now switching. The prior SSV had a column shifter, so now we're switching to a rotor shifter, and then you have the full screen. So this is going to be a little bit different than our traditional pursuit-rated vehicles, where the pursuit-rated vehicles have a column shifter. Mm-hmm. So since this is a special service vehicle, we still went with the traditional rotor shifter that the retail vehicle has, because again, complexity when
Sure.
you talk about the items at the plant.
Does the Expedition even have a column shifter?
No,
Yeah,
it doesn't anymore.
so-
Yeah, we had it previously, we got rid of it.
Fair enough.
So right now we have, this is an upfitted center console that we put in the vehicle. The SSV is going to come with, it's called the consolette. So it's a mini console. So it's not going to be as big as the retail console. It's going to ride a little bit lower. It's got a cup holders and a couple open tops. So we had this, created and we put it in. So again, you can run it as a full police vehicle. So you've got your Whalen core system that's going to give you the brain of the vehicle. That's going to run your lights, your sirens. You can hook everything up for your equipment. You've got your radio, you've got your different USB chargers, we've got the heavy duty Ford Pro trailer mode, and then again, we go to our 4A, our set it and forget it torque on demand transfer case. So if you're using this vehicle and if you happen to be in a pursuit rated mode, or if you're driving the vehicle and you just want to change how you're driving, you can put it into 4A and the vehicle is automatically going to change the torque for you without you having to think. We have the red overhead task lighting, which we traditionally put in all of our police vehicles. So it gives you a little bit of light,
Sure.
but it's not so blaringly obvious with the lights coming out all of the windows.
Right. And you don't lose your night vision.
Yep. And on the exterior of the vehicle, I'll go ahead and show you in a minute, we've introduced a split liftgate. So as opposed to having one giant liftgate, the liftgate splits in half. It's a really great feature. It makes it so much easier to get items in and out. So I'll go ahead and hit the button. So if you have your fob, if you hit the button, it's going to open both separately. If you do it manually, it'll open the top and it gives you the option to open the bottom separately. And then when you want to close it, you just have the one. So it's got great lighting features when you're in the inside. There's different charging stations back here. So the SSV is 4x4 only. We've eliminated our 4x2 option, but we do have the option of either a short wheelbase or a long wheelbase. So the vehicle that we have right now, this is the Expedition SSV short wheelbase. The other option is an Expedition SSV Max, which is the long wheelbase, and it comes with a third row.
Gotcha.
So it kind of, how do you want the space? How are you going to use the vehicle? How many people are you going to haul? Can determine what you need. 100% 4x4. So the liftgate time release that we offer on our Police Interceptor Utility, we have that same time release on here. So there's a button that you hit on the inside. You have 45 seconds to get around to the back. The back will go into lockdown. Job 2, we're actually introducing dark car into the vehicle. Oh. So the stealth mode that we were showing you, so that'll be added for Job 2 builds. So that's why I said the Expedition SSV is a caveat in terms of the pursuit rated items that we're putting into an SSV that we traditionally only would put in a pursuit rated vehicle, just because we know officers are using this vehicle a little bit more in a daily usage than they do a traditional SSV. So we wanted to make sure we added content that mattered the most.
Sure.
Well, that's quite quite the intrusion beam there. I suspect that this is also 75-mile-an-hour rated or something.
This is
because-
not. Nope. This is not 75 mile an
Really?
hour. Nope.
Wow.
This is the stock retail ratings. So 55
This
mile
is
an hour.
stock. No kidding. I would have guessed not. Wow, that's
I imagine the load, although it's like a tiny mid gate, it's a
What's
lot of
that?
loads that you're throwing through there. So,
But this is kind of nice again for other things, tailgating. This is a nice tailgate, and I don't get rained on or snowed on.
Well, this will be
depending on what
nice too.
sport.
You can get different boxes for storage back here. And one of the other things is there's different companies that they're working on storage to make mobile command centers. So when this vehicle is out there, it's going to have a whole, basically the metal lockbox we saw on the front of the Lightning SSV will have a whole lockbox system back here that'll have trays that'll pull out that you'll be able to put laptops and mount different equipment. So if you're on a scene, you'll be able to use this as a mobile command center. You've got the protection of everything overhead. You can mount stuff, you can put different tables. So there's a lot of different integration that we're working with right now on our suppliers and vendors. So hopefully we'll see that in the next couple months as the vehicles start rolling out.
Cool.
now is this a segment that you see more growth in? I see a lot of, Tahoes and other vehicles, like this, especially locally.
You could say it.
You could say it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oakland County, right? They run a lot of.
Yeah.
I mean, they run Explorers too, but I see they favor, generally speaking, SUVs and more specifically full-size SUVs. So
We're starting to see different agencies run different vehicles. It depends on what your usage case is. Do you need a regular SUV? Do you need a larger SUV? Do you need a truck? Do you need a car? Again, it goes to what do you need. We are starting to see some growth in this segment. That's why some of the content that we added it just because we knew that the vehicles were being utilized a little bit differently than we originally anticipated. So we decided to be forward thinking and we updated what the content offerings were, knowing that this isn't pursuit rated, but it is being used for full police purposes. So we wanted to give them the content that they could use and make it the most useful.
Wow, this is quite a lineup. I am very impressed. I guess no guessing about it. I didn't realize that you had such a breadth. And I never realized that you controlled 50% of the market. Those are two of the biggest takeaways for me. So, did you have anything else then, Kevin?
No, I think so. I mean, obviously, all my questions are just kind of like how current feedback gets into newer programs. I know we can't talk about stuff like that, but
I can definitely talk about certain things like that. So we have a police advisory board that we work with. We meet with them a few times a year, and then we have regular monthly meetings with them. And to be honest, they have all of our numbers. We talk to them on a regular basis to get feedback. We integrate that feedback into a lot of the things that we do. We actually show them future products, future features, things that we're thinking about doing, or things that we're getting ready to launch, and we get their feedback. So customer feedback is integral to what we do. We go to we meet with our customers, we go to the different police shows. As we're going through and doing everything, as the customer gives us feedback, we take that back to our teams. So Alan, that you're going to meet with in a few minutes, as we sit down and talk with him, as I go to a show, if a customer gives me feedback on something, I'll come back from the event or I'll call Alan directly from the event, tell him something that came up, and we'll set a meeting as soon as we come back. Right. So as we go to customer shows, as we do ride and drives, or even our sales team when they're out in the field with the customers, if they get feedback, they'll send it to me. And I'll go directly to our engineering teams. So we've got our product teams, we've got Alan who does the performance engineering, we have a police features team, we have a fully integrated group of people that work specifically on police vehicles and they design features and performance and everything that's police specific. Sure. And I think that sets us apart for a lot of the stuff that we do.
Like many years, I guess I want to say like in the past, there was often talks of like a police specific vehicle, like that's not based on, not necessarily for Ford, but there was conversations of like, it is a true police vehicle. It's not based off of anything else. That might make sense, but is there any conversations kind of like that where maybe current production vehicles being upfitted don't meet the need? I agree. I think so too.
I think that, the volume that you would have to produce in order to basically support a plant, because that's pretty much what you're saying. Sure. I would say that the police Interceptor Utility is as close as you're going to get because it has such high such variations in engineering versus the retail vehicle, you're going to see that variation. Anything that has the Interceptor name to it is going to be engineered much different than any other vehicle out there, just because we do that 75-mile-an-hour rear crash, and there's additional performance, there's coolings, there's brakes, even above and beyond what we do on a responder. That's our highest pursuit level rating. So, and we don't give it to every vehicle. And it's not that other vehicles are bad, it's just that the Interceptor is that much higher.
Sure.
Yeah.
So one last question, and Eric is going like this, which either means he's looking for cotton candy or it's time for us to get going. But have you any thoughts on like, say, the Ranger falling into this category, the small pickup?
So we can't talk about anything that's in a future cycle plan, but right now we don't have the Ranger. I know Ranger is used in different countries, especially like down in Australia, I think you see over in the EU, Ranger's used a lot with different police vehicles. We haven't integrated it to this just because it wasn't, based on the vehicles that we don't have a hole in the lineup that needs that. I think if we didn't have the F-150 responder, we would look at something like a Ranger, but since you do have the F-150 police responder, the Ranger just, it wouldn't fit in the same way. And since we have that advantage of having the F-150 in our market, we utilize it as much as we can, because it is at the heart of the F-150. Although it's a pursuit rated vehicle, it's still a truck. It performs everything a truck should do. It has you have your towing, you have your payload, you have everything that you need. You can utilize it that way, but then you can also use it as your police vehicle.
Yeah. Well, if Eric does this anymore,
you get kicked out.
He'll have to get carpal tunnel surgery.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Nice meeting you. Thank you so much. It was nice meeting you.
Appreciate
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So.